What is going on, everybody? Welcome into the Friday morning edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show here at FTNFantasy.com. My name is Zach Graham, aka Kawaisenberg DFS. Little back-to-back action today. Looking to get into some MLB picks, some WNBA picks, of course, as always. We've also got a pair of PGA picks here this morning from the great Alex Blickel. Plenty to talk about. So let's just go ahead and jump into it. NBA draft finished up yesterday. That was fun. You can go catch up if you missed any of that on our live blog over at FTNFantasy.com. Myself, Mike Randall, Noops Christensen, Walt Waddell, some of the best basketball minds in the industry giving our live reactions there. We'll have some winners and losers, articles, videos up here throughout the day. So still looking for any NBA draft coverage, kind of the fallout from that. FTN Fantasy is the place for it. Again, you can join us here at FTN Fantasy for any of that content or any of our content that is behind the paywall. You can join us. It's about $40 per month to get access here at FTN Fantasy. But as I always try to remind you all while we're here, the best value to join us here at FTN is the VIP Plus subscription. That is a full year, $299.99, so about $25 per month, and that gets you access to everything under the FTN Fantasy umbrella, access to all of our advanced statistics, projection models, all of our season-long betting, daily fantasy, all of that content, and access to all three of our Discord servers, including that Pick'em Games channel where you've already got multiple six-pick plays posted this morning from our buddy Alex, and going to talk through some additional picks on the stream here today as well. Let's start here at PrizePicks, and we'll use the PrizePicks tool, of course, just another great feature of FTN Fantasy here. We could start really just at the top, the number one prop in the tool at the moment over here on PrizePicks. On the MLB side, Charlie Morton and his fantasy score prop of 28.5. You can see that the FTN data model has him just a touch over 33 pitcher fantasy score here today. You can also look over on Underdog, where Morton is already up to 30.5 over there. So obviously prefer him here at PrizePicks, Charlie Morton, more than 28.5 pitcher fantasy score, going up against the Pirates here on a Friday. Good to see JJ in here. Josh, hope some of your draft betting went well. And Alex, teasing the PGA pick here. Excited to get to that here in a moment. But see, right, talking about Charlie Morton being a more favorable selection over at PrizePicks. We always talk about kind of line shopping between these sites, right? And so if you have not signed up yet at PrizePicks, I don't know what you're waiting for, but you can use the promo code FTN at sign up, and PrizePicks will give you a 100% deposit match bonus up to $100. You can get the exact same deal with that same promo code. If you download the Sleeper app, you use that promo code FTN, you get that deposit match bonus 100% up to $100. And of course, I mentioned Underdog, where we do have some Underdog specific plays to talk about. Same promo code over there at Underdog, FTN, will get you a 50% deposit match bonus, but that's up to $250 over there at UD. New customers also right now with the promo code FTN also getting a special discounted pick. So you get the discounted pick, you get the deposit match bonus, promo code FTN, by signing up over there at Underdog. See, Alex says, Underdog won't let him put more than $250 on this PGA pick. We'll talk about it. JJ says, bet Ron Holland to Chicago like an idiot. Hey, man, I didn't see anybody that had Ron Holland going to the Pistons. And I can tell you the Pistons maybe ending up in my my draft losers section in that article that's coming very shortly here at FTNFantasy.com. But let's jump back into the picks here today. We've got Morton on the board, and then we're going to go and look to my Rangers and Max Scherzer taking on the Orioles here today. His strikeout prop is set at 4.5, and we like a more than selection on Max Scherzer here today up against the O's, and just keeping it moving here. We've got two pairs to grab some correlation here in the tool. First, we're going to talk about one of the pairs that Alex has already posted this morning in some of his 6-pick entries. We're going to the Mets in the Stros here today. Jose Quintana on the mound for the Mets, and we're going to take the less than selection on his outs prop set at 17.5 FTN data model, right around 16.8 outs here today for Jose Quintana. So it's not the strongest recommendation we've ever seen here from the PrizePicks tool at FTN Fantasy. But if you pair him with that Bregman hits plus runs plus RBIs, that's set at 1.5 for Breggs here today. You get that plus 4.6% correlation bonus in the tool. And then we're going to add another pairing here. And this is one that I don't believe Alex has given out yet in the chat, but we were discussing just prior to the stream going live here today. We're going to Colin Ray, Brewers and Cubs here today. We're going to take the less than selection on Rays. Outs 17.5 is that line. And then we're going to pair that, obviously going to the Cubs side here, Ian Happ. Similar pairing to what we just did in that Mets and Astros matchup here. Cubs and Brewers, we're going Ian Happ. More than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. Pairing that with Colin Ray, less than 17.5 outs. You can see here in the PrizePicks prop tool, that's going to give you an expected value of plus 85.9%, a correlation bonus of plus 8.7%. So there's a 6-pick all MLB, almost said NBA, all MLB play here that you can roll on PrizePicks this morning. But that is not where we're going to stop here. And Josh saying a lot of good MMA stuff on PrizePicks for the weekend. I know that PrizePicks does have a discounted MMA prop up there. Alex Pereira, 0.5 significant strikes. You've got until Saturday afternoon, I believe, to use that. So obviously you could slide that into an entry here today if you're okay waiting on that to settle on Saturday evening. So Josh, jump in that Pick'em Games channel. Give out some of those MMA picks because I know you are locked in consistently into all of that fight stuff. Blickle saying Hap no longer available, so he's going to switch to Suzuki 7.5 fantasy points. So I'm glad I got some of those Hap selections in there before just now. But again, you can swap right over to Suzuki 7.5 fantasy points. And we can do that here in the tool right now. You can see he's projected about 8.7 fantasy points here. Does take the win percentage, the expected value down ever so slightly in the tool, but still getting a correlation bonus plus 8.8% expected value plus 76.1 by swapping in Suzuki there. So let's move on here. Let's get to these two PGA picks. And again, these coming straight from the mind of Alex Blickle. I believe 2-time defending golf writer of the year. Maybe 1-time defending, 2-time nominated. Regardless, when Alex Blickle talks about PGA, I shut up and listen. We're going to Alex Noren, I believe is Alex's or Noren's first name there. More than 9.5 fairways hit here today in round 2. Alex told me earlier this is his strongest prop on the day. Oh, and you can see, again, we talk about line shopping between those two sites. Colin Ray's under on UD. You're getting that 0.9x multiplier there. So you love seeing that, still getting that number on PrizePicks at 17.5. Again, taking the less than selection there. But here for Noren, more than 9.5 fairways here in round 2. And then, again, talking about bouncing between the two sites. This is from Alex's specific underdog play here this morning at or in the Pick'em Games channel. Again, if you're a member here at FTN Fantasy, you get these picks sometimes an hour or more before we talk about them here on stream, trying to take advantage of some of the best lines in the industry before everybody else is on them, and they shift, as we see pretty consistently here. The underdog specific pick here, Bo Hostler, lower than 14.5 greens in regulation. Unless my page is being slow on updating here, you can still get that over on underdog. And again, I believe both Noren and Hostler teeing off in right about 2 hours here, round 2 in the PGA streets. So Noren more than 9.5 fairways, Hostler lower than 14.5 greens Josh says he can send me his plays for the people. Okay. Yeah, well, that was an eventful last night for America, regardless of if you're talking about the presidential debate or the disaster that happened in the Copa America, which I think I was personally more let down about. Big match coming up against Uruguay on Monday night. Let's get to those WNBA streets that Josh is talking about. We are hitting the WNBA picks, I believe, updated here just for the WNBA picks so far this season, 65.6% as of last night. And Brianna Jones really letting us down last night. But I think the rest of those coming through from yesterday. I was lucky enough. After Brianna Jones, I tilt entered a little six pick play there on PrizePicks for the nightcap, and that ended up coming through. So that was nice. But let's see if we can get this pair through here today. And again, just 2 games tonight in the W. And of course, if I have any more picks throughout the day, I will drop them into that Pick'em Games channel. But let's talk about the 2 we have here this morning. Blickle says he got Gavin Newsom 30-1 last night. That's not a bad number there. Plus 625 now, says Alex. What's Whitmer at? I could see that being a pick too. Oh, it's brutal. Should let us live bet debates. Yeah, man. All right, we'll close it out with the W here this morning. Sun in the first game, taking on the Dream. This one's in Connecticut. The Sun are 10-point home favorites here. Very slow, 150 implied total in this one, but that is not going to stop me from going back to AT. Alyssa Thomas, more than 36.5 fantasy score here this morning. Look, 1.13 PrizePicks fantasy score points per minute on the season so far for Alyssa Thomas. I do think now that we see the Bree Jones number down to 26.5 as well, she's 1.07 points per minute. We talked about that on yesterday's stream, second into the back-to-back here. I just like AT down at this number. Again, we've seen her lines come down from the low 40s to the high 30s and now more into the mid 30s. And I'm certainly not nervous about this matchup against an Atlanta side that leaves a lot to be desired defensively in my book. And again, I know Thomas has been a little bit up and down in terms of having those ceiling performances, but this line is a couple points too low in this matchup for me. So I'm going to Alyssa Thomas. Again, I don't hate going back to Bree Jones here, but considering this line is down to 36.5, Thomas is my pick from this game. And then the second pick we're looking at here, we're going to the nightcap. Mercury hosting the Sparks. The Mercury 10-point home favorites here. Obviously, Cameron Brink out for the Sparks. We've also got Clarendon out again. So things falling apart for LA when they didn't have a ton of hope this season to begin with in my book, but 10-point road dogs here to the Mercury. 169 total. But I just think this Taurasi line is a bit too high. Look, she can go out there and give you 20-plus real points and still come in under on this number. Taurasi so far this year, of course, started all 16 of her appearances. But when you look at a line at 28.5, she has only been over this number in 5 of those 16 games this year. So can she get hot and beat, again, she can beat this number with raw points alone, but Brittany Griner back in the mix here. Beck Allen back in the mix here for the Mercury. Kalea Copper is a high usage player as well now in the mix for Phoenix this season. Again, this line is just a couple points too high for me to ignore it. I'm not surprised if we see this trickle downwards throughout the course of our Friday here. So Taurasi less than 28.5 fantasy score is the last pick we've got here on the Friday edition of the PrizePicks prop show. Josh says he got the Rock and Mark Cuban. Oh, God. We're in for a rough couple months, my friends. So let's just run through the picks that we talked about here on today's stream. Again, before we do that, if you're watching on the YouTube channel, hit the subscribe button. Subscribing to the channel helps us grow the stream, as does hitting the like button, the thumbs up on this video. So whether you're catching this live or on the replay later today, do those two things for us. It's 2 clicks. It helps us out, and it helps us continue to bring you these picks 6 days a week. So if you're watching on Twitter, right on that stream, just jump over to the YouTube real quick. Give us those clicks. We would greatly appreciate it. So what do we have here? 10 picks, I believe, on the Friday edition of the Prop Show here. We've got Morton, more than 28.5 fantasy score. Again, that is PrizePicks specific right now. He's 30.5 over there on Underdog. Max Scherzer, more than 4.5 strikeouts. Jose Quintana, less than 17.5 outs. You pair that with Alex Bregman, more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. Then we do a similar pairing. Colin Ray, less than 17.5 outs. Ian Happ, more than 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI. Again, on PrizePicks, that prop is down right now, so you can go to Suzuki, more than 7.5 fantasy score, and we like that pairing as well. Then from the PGA side, you've got Alex Noren, more than 9.5 fairways in his round 2 today. Bo Hostler, lower than 14.5 greens in regulation. Then from the WNBA side, Alyssa Thomas, more than 36.5 fantasy score. Diana Taurasi, less than 28.5 fantasy score. There's your 10 picks here for your Friday morning. Again, you can come join us at FTN Fantasy. Subscribe to the site, and you can join us in the Pick'em Games channel, where the picks will continue to fly throughout the day, over the weekend, and for the rest of the summer. Alex is back tomorrow, same time, same place, on your Saturday, for another edition of the PrizePicks Prop Show. I see Hugo in here checking in late. I'm sure I will see him in the Discord later on this morning. I appreciate you all tuning in, sticking with me here on the Friday edition. Alex back tomorrow on Saturday. And of course, good luck tonight, everybody.